Hi, Morley Recapped here. Today I'm going to explain a Chinese fantasy drama film called The Eighth Day of the Week. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The camera pans around Zhang's room, a relatively fat schoolgirl who has a special talent for drawing. Lots of unhealthy snacks like potato chips are stacked in her room, justifying her physical appearance and body type. A fast sequence presents Zhang's established life. She herself narrates that she is a dumb and fat girl, and her mother doesn't support her appearance. She stands on a scale and weighs in 81 kilograms. Her mother checks her grades at school and shakes her head disappointed. Zhang's grades are just above average. On her way to school, Zhang stops by a street shop to buy a sandwich, and then she introduces us to the boy she has a crush on. She stands on a podium to try and convince her schoolmates to vote for her. She claims she will help them all with their homework. But at the same time, she is intimidated by what seems to be her opponent, Yi, a confident girl who says she's sure she will win just like the previous school year. In the school cafeteria, Zhang begs her schoolmates to vote for her. A boy steals her backpack and says she has to be punished for annoying his friends. He runs out and throws her backpack on a tree. The backpack sticks on a branch. Everyone laughs at Zhang, but she's courageous enough to climb the tree and get up there. Everyone watches at her until she grabs her backpack and falls down the tree. Ying checks the voting standings on her smartphone and realizes that Zhang now has 20 votes. She only had one vote a couple of minutes ago. That disturbs Yi and her friend Zhang Min. At gym class, Zhang had a hard time keeping up with the other students. Exercising is not her favorite hobby. When she gets back on class, Zhang Min claims that someone has stolen her wallet. It's not in her bag anymore. The teacher makes the students stand and gives permission to Zhang Min to check all of her classmates' backpacks until she finds her wallet. Zhang is surprised to see that a pink wallet has appeared in her backpack. It has been planted there. When her number is up, Zhang Min supposedly finds her wallet in Zhang's backpack. The teacher takes Zhang in his office and tells her she is disqualified from the election. It's gotten late and Zhang walks disappointed on the streets. An old lady approaches her and seems to know everything about Zhang's day. Zhang wonders if the old lady followed her, but she just reads her mind and proves it to her. The old lady tells her she needs to go to sleep and waves a hand over Zhang's face. Zhang magically finds herself in bed. She wakes up in a rush to get ready for school. She proceeds to grab her stuff and go, but stops when she notices a bracelet on her desk. That's not hers. She wears the bracelet on her wrist and touches it. The bracelet's top lightens in a blue color, and a 24-hour countdown clock appears on the screen. Zhang looks for her mother to say goodbye, but she's nowhere to be found. She takes her bike to school and stops by the man who sells the sandwiches, but he's not there as well. She goes to school, but the school is empty. Since there is nobody nowhere, she starts enjoying the day. She finds a brush and a red paint and paints on a wall at school. She eats as much as she wants without feeling guilty about it, and she falls to bed full and happy. She falls asleep and her bracelet touches on a surface. Time returns to its normal flow and Zhang's mother appears. She wakes Zhang up and Zhang checks on the clock. She says it's still early. The time hasn't passed between the two taps of the bracelet. She gets ready for school and on her way, she realizes that everything she has done has had consequences. Whatever she did, it affects others even if they're not there. Zhang returns home after school and tells her mother about a crazy dream she had. Of course, her mother doesn't believe anything. Zhang walks in her room and she finds the old lady who reads her thoughts sitting there, drinking a Coke. The old lady has come to explain Zhang everything. She tells her that the bracelet is magic and allows her to have one extra day every week. The bracelet curves time, and thus, the wearer of the bracelet can have the 8th day of the week. She also explains that every action she does affects others. So if she moves an object and a person sits on it or is using it, that person will be affected accordingly. Now Zhang knows how to use the bracelet, and she does use it. She follows her crush, Jubei, to find out where he lives, and she taps the bracelet to make everyone disappear. She proceeds to visit Jubei's room and writes him a love letter. When time restores, Jubei asks his mother if someone came in their house today, but she says no. A short montage presents the way Jubei and Jung keep communicating. They both write on sticky notes and let them rest in Jubei's room desk. He asks how she can make the notes appear. Is she an alien? Jung says aliens are ugly. She is an angel. Jubei replies that he can be friends with an angel. Other than that, Jung puts her bracelet in good use for the common good of the students. She stops time to modify some school papers regarding the holidays. She stamps the papers accordingly and writes on them that there will be 10 days of holiday break for school. When those papers reach the teacher's hands, they can't believe it. They announce it to the students and they jump off their seats. Now it's time for a soccer game, a game that Jubei has been waiting enthusiastically. His school team against another school team. Things don't go as planned though. The other team is superior and scores 3 goals. Jung is watching the game and doesn't feel good that Jubei is not able to enjoy this game. She doesn't want him to lose. She doesn't take action. She waits for the perfect moments when the ball is on Jubei's feet and stops time. She then moves the ball close to the other team's goalpost. When she restores time, Jubei has consequently moved along with the ball. He scores some easy goals, and his team scores a total of 11 goals and wins the game. In the females' locker room, Jung overhears a conversation between Yi and Jung Min. They talk about Xing Mang's wallet and how she planted it in Jung's backpack so that everyone would consider her a thief. Jung avenges her by taking all of their classmates' wallets and stuffing them into Zhang Min's backpack. Now she is considered a thief as well. Jung and Jubei exchange some more love notes, and Jubei tells her that she must have helped him with the soccer game. He wouldn't have been able to score the goals by himself, and the way it happened, just too good to be true. The bracelet comes quite handy for Jung. When the class is taking a test, she uses it to freeze time and cheat on her exam. That takes her in the first place in class. It's the first time that actually happens. When she returns to class, the other students cheer for her and ask her how she did. The teacher also praises her and says that effort pays back good results. That makes Yi very jealous. She gets even more jealous when she finds Jubei making some drawings with Jung. This time Jung is not using her bracelet. They have genuinely created a bond. Yi watches them having a good time, and that ruins her mood. Jung and Jubei communicate again via their note code, this time in the library. Jung confesses that she's just a normal girl, but one day something magical happened, and she now possesses her powers. Jubei asks if he can do that magic too, but it only works for Jung. Jubei says he wants to meet her. Jung's lack of confidence makes her stop the communication while Jubei is still waiting. In real time, Jung is sitting right next to Jubei in the library. A student approaches with a math problem which she can't seem to solve. She needs Jubei's help, but he can't understand the problem. Jung can't solve it, but she freezes time and runs to the teacher's office to find the answers. She does find them and cheat the answers one more time. Another student approaches her asking for help, and another, until the whole library is gathered around her. She gets overwhelmed and runs away. Later on, the physical education teacher asks if there are any participants for a 1.5-kilometer race. Yi pushes Jung forward, and the teacher signs her up. When the actual race takes place, Jung feels exhausted, but she uses her bracelet and wins the race. Yi is in rage. She can't believe how Jung is able to keep the spotlight on her. Zhang Min has been recording the race on his smartphone and notices that Jung's running has been abnormal. We as viewers never get to see that footage, but Zhang Min observes that there is something peculiar about Zhang's bracelet. Meanwhile, Jung tells Jubei that she is ready to meet with him. She visits a store to buy a dress, but it's too expensive. She uses her bracelet and just steals it. The next day at school, Yi and Jingmen pick Jung's locker and steal her bracelet. Yi tries it on her wrist, but it doesn't work for her. Yi walks into the empty class and goes through Jung's backpack. She finds some of her notes and reads that the bracelet only works for Jung. Since they can't do anything with it, Yi and Jingmeng throw the bracelet in the trash. The class is taking another exam, but this time, Zhang does not have her bracelet to help her. She tries to cheat the exam, but she is caught and sent to the teacher's office. They call her mother, and she comes to pick her up from school. Zhang is running out of good luck. It is also revealed that she stole that white dress from the clothing store. All the kids at school learn about it and spread the word. Zhang has no choice but to run away, feeling humiliated. Zhang vents her anger on some glass bottles, and in a magical way, the bracelet appears right in front of her. She takes it again and spends the night at a warehouse. Her mother goes crazy about her missing daughter and looks for her everywhere. Zhang remembers that she has a date with Jubei and runs to the meeting point. Jubei is waiting for her, but Yi is already there to take her place. She is wearing a white dress and reciting some of Zhang's notes. Now Jubei is convinced that Yi is the girl he's been exchanging letters with. 1 year later, the old lady pays Zhang a visit and they meet in a park. Zhang says she knows that she did many wrong things. However, she can't return home because she can't face her mother. The old lady tells her she can solve some problems, but she can't erase people's memories. To become a better person, Zhang will have to face what she fears. Zhang returns home and her mother is finally relieved. They hug over a very emotional soundtrack while her mother says she was very rough on her. She won't be like that ever again. Zhang returns to school as well. Her classmates have moved her desk to the back of the class. They don't want to sit near her. Zhang is determined to change. She goes running and she throws all her snacks away. She visits Jubei's room and sees his wall is full of sticky notes. He apologizes he didn't initially understand that Yi was not her. Zhang lets a stuffed animal on his desk and leaves. The hard work pays off. Zhang loses the extra pounds and she gets excellent grades. Jubei has his suspicions and approaches Zhang holding the stuffed animal she had left for him. He asks her if she is the one, but Zhang says no. Zhang regrets it and writes a new note for Jubei. She writes the truth. She confesses she is the one who's been communicating with him this whole time. She visits his room to give him the note, but the room is empty. Only a letter is to be found on his desk. Zhang reads the letter. It says that Jubei left to return to his hometown. Zhang rides her bike like crazy. She uses the bracelet to stop time and reach the train station in time. The bracelet runs out of time, and so does she. By the time she reaches the train station, Jubei's train is getting moving. Zhang spots him and signals him that she is Pai, meaning the one he's been speaking with through the notes. She writes her phone number on the concrete. Jubei struggles to take a look at it, and he probably fixes it in his mind even though one number is missing. But no big deal. In the end, Zhang meets the old lady on a bench. She's talking with a fat young boy. Zhang gives the bracelet to the old lady and tells her it's time for the bracelet to have a new owner. And then Zhang runs away happy. What an ending indeed. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching.